Hopefully you already know this, but just in case, AI is the dumbest smart tool you'll ever use. And I mean ever. At least the way it's set up right now. Hey, how you doing? This is Chris, your friendly neighborhood internet Sherpa, back again with another one of those tips on how to bring bodies to the door, put cheeks in the seats, and of course, build your list. Today I want to have a quick conversation, at least I'm going to try and keep it quick, you know how I get, about a challenge that I have. I've given it to myself. Didn't intend to, but it is what it is. You ever give someone a tool to use and you realize you got extra work because you gave them that tool? Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Let me explain. I got this product called Client Connect, and if you wander over to my website, you'll see it, but I'm not going to, hype it right now. But the whole purpose of that is my whole steez out here online is to make it so independents can do promotion without running themselves crazy and still be effective. So what I basically did was put together a tool that allows them to create content simply. And that's the problem, because it makes creating the content simply. And I said that, when I bring people on, I say, hey, look, this thing is going to create content. It's going to do it quickly and all that. It's going to make that part easy, because that's the part that normally kicks people in the biscuits. The actual sitting down in front of a screen and typity type. Back in the day, you either had to be really creative or you had to go hire someone. And, that gets a little bit pricey. And then AI showed up and it was like, oh my goodness, look what we have here. And then people started using it. And some of the ugliest content has been showing up online. Man, back in the day, it used to be that content was all that in a bucket of chicken. Back when Google was trying to figure out what Google was doing, if you could do good content, you could elbow your way to the top of the search engine. You get all the traffic you want. Oh, Frabjous Day, Calais, you had all kinds of business, and that was all that she wrote. And then AI showed up and people were like, wow, I can create content like that. So they just sat down and said, content. And pretty soon the internet was polluted with a whole bunch of generic crap. So of course Google had to adjust itself, and marketers had to adjust themselves, and there's all kinds of adjustment going on. But there's a whole host of people, my peeps, who are discovering this tool. And even though it makes life easy, there's still a little something you got to bring to the table. It's a little you that you need to bring to the table. So in this little quick conversation, I just want to hit you with 3 points, 3 very important points that if you do decide to use AI, and I suggest that you do, because it really, really compresses a lot of the creation that you need to do, be smart about it. And I'm going to try and help you be smart about it by pointing out basically what AI sucks at. I mean, it may get better in the future. I can't imagine that it won't, but where it's at right now, oh my goodness. All right. Here's the most dangerous thing about AI, and I bumped into it so many times, I've walked away from my computer cussing. And I'm talking about cussing because AI was so freaking stupid. I mean, it's not a thing. It's not a person. It's just, playing with ones and zeros and stuff like that, or some version of it. But it sounds so convincing. AI does not give you I think this is the right answer. AI will look you straight in the face and give you the 100% wrong answer with all the confidence in the world, and look at you and be like, well, what do you want? I gave it to you. Because AI is programmed to speak with confidence. And that's one of the things that throws a lot of people off. Because it speaks with confidence, it must be right. But the thing is, it's just programmed that way. And, if you're talking to a regular human being and they're not confident about what they're saying, you can tell. There's like little tells. They'll even give you a little bit of, foreshadowing. Be like, I'm pretty sure this is how it works, or don't quote me on this, blah, blah. You get that kind of stuff. You can tell in their trepidation in their conversation whether or not they're solid on what they're saying, or whether you need to put a little jaundiced eye on it before you run to the bank with that deposit slip. AI is not programmed like that. AI is programmed to make you think that whatever it said was the most confident thing in the world. And because a lot of people haven't bumped into something like that, they run with it. They don't check it. They don't sit there and go, maybe, maybe not. They just take it as gospel and run. Now, this is the fun part. And if you really want to have fun with this, just check online for the number of lawyers that have based case law, things that they've submitted to judges based on stuff that they pulled out of ChatGPT that was 100% made up. Because, I mean, this was a couple of iterations ago, but ChatGPT used to just straight up make stuff up. And it doesn't do it as much now, but it sure does blur the line, and it doesn't go, pretty sure this is straight. It just goes with it. It just 100% goes with it. So that's the first thing that's, wrong if you just decide to step to ChatGPT or Claude or Grok, heaven forbid, or any of the other AIs that are out there. The fact that it speaks with confidence. The second thing that you really have to watch out for, and this is where you being the subject matter expert on what it is that you do really comes in handy. It's really important. You can confuse an AI just like that, simply by how you ask it a question, because it does what is called pattern matching. So it goes, it sounds like you're going in this direction, so let me go down that path. And if you just hit boom, print, and then post and all that kind of stuff, and then come back later and look at it, and you're like, wait a minute, why are we talking about this? The most important part about this conversation is these points over here that it totally missed, because that's how it behaves. Again, it doesn't have your experience. It doesn't know that if you're talking about a particular topic, that your personal experience needs to be brought out, that your experience with people says that this generally accepted piece of information is not congruent, does not match up with your boots on the ground experience. So your boots on the ground experience is what needs to go in there. And that little piece right there is what separates good content from the BS that's wandering around online. Because at the end of the day, before you press a button on AI to help you create something, step one is know what you want to talk about. Know the angle that you want to talk about. Know the point that you're trying to get across. Because if you know that and it deviates, you can bring it on back. Bring it on back. What are you doing? Come on back. Why are you doing down there? And it'll tell you why it was wrong. If you ask, why did you talk about that? Why did you go down that one? It'll tell you why. Then you can bring it back and go, no, I want to talk about this. And it will adjust, because it's not like it doesn't have access to the information. It just didn't realize that that's where you wanted to go. And if you don't tell it, if you don't look at what it puts out, you're going to have a bunch of ugly content attributed to your name. And that is a bad thing. And here's why that's a bad thing. Way back when Google was trying to figure out how it felt about AI content, it started off with AI bad. Don't do AI. We will penalize you for AI. And then it realized, there's a lot of AI out there. And we're not, I can stick my finger in the dike, but it ain't stopping it. It's coming out there. So then Google did a little shift. It said, okay, bad AI is bad, meaning that we're in the business of providing answers to our customers. This is Google speaking. And Google's customers, you ain't it. Your product. Always remember, your product. If you ain't giving Google money, your product. Google pays on attention. So what it wants to do is put the best information in front of people that walk up to the search box and type in any kind of question. Well, if everyone out there puts out generic information that really doesn't say a ding dang thing, then it's kind of stuck. It's kind of, lost in translation there. But if it's trying to understand your business, and when you put out content, the content you put out is real. It's relevant. Yeah, you may start it off with AI just because who wants to sit there and go, it was a dark and sultry night? Who wants to start it? Let AI start the damn thing. The darn thing. And then you polish that bad boy up so it's yours, so it's real, so it says what you need to say to the people that you're trying to say whatever you're trying to say to. If I sound a little agitated, it's because I am. And it's because this is going to be bad for a while, for a long while. And my peeps, I've got to protect them from themselves, because they're already haggard. They already got too many balls in the air. And this right here is so tempting to just press play and let it go. And that's such an opportunity missed, especially in the local fights that my folks are in. Anyway, the last thing, and this is the most important thing, I guess one of the most important things that I want to throw out there, is that AI can make the dumbest people sound smart. And I guess this kind of dovetails off that last one, because you can throw a bunch of cool content on your website and it can be generically authentic, but it's not real. So the value, getting back to what I just got finished saying, is putting good quantity, good content online, being actually useful to the people that you're working with. Like, take this little conversation I'm having with you right now. This is 100% AI generated. Well, meaning that me and ChatGPT sat down and we wandered around for a little bit, me cussing ChatGPT out before I got to this particular thread that I wanted to talk about, because this is something that I've seen. Clearly, this is not content created by ChatGPT, but the points that I'm bringing up are. And that's what you have to do if you're trying to use this tool correctly. It's a powerful tool, dumb as a box of rocks. So use it for what it is. Understand what it is. Understand what it can do for you, and then use it correctly. Do not get lazy. All right, so that's the end of I guess I should hop down off my soapbox. As you can tell, I sit there and cuss at ChatGPT and Claude on a regular basis because, oh my goodness, are they stupid. Just the dumbest piece of smart technology I've ever come across. It's amazing to me. It's just amazing to me. Anyway, here's the deal. The reason why this is so important, the reason why I get so agitated about it, is because of I'll call it the game that's playing out online, meaning how my peeps get found, how you use the internet to bring the folks who want what you do to your door. If you're going to use the tools that are online, if you're going to use all those different platforms that bring people to you, and you're going to use this tool, it's probably a good idea to understand how it all fits together. Now, if you try and figure it out on your own, and if you don't listen to me and you go elsewhere online, you're going to figure out that most people are trying to sell you a bunch of different things. So they have a bunch of different angles, but no one says, here's how the whole thing fits together. How does your social fit with your Google business profile? How does your Google business profile fit with your website? What's that got to do with YouTube? What's that got to do? All of those different platforms that you may be thinking about, maybe you dabbled in, they all play a part depending on which ones you use. But if you don't understand how they all come together, it can be a bit of a challenge. And oh, by the way, you got a business to run. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I put together I call it a free thing because I'm creative like that. And I guess I'll start calling it that from now on. Get the free thing. So if you go to C2, you have to excuse me, sometimes I tickle myself. Go to c2local.io/free thing. And download, you're going to go to a page where I have a video where I walk you through this without losing my temper, where I've got like a nice little PDF that kind of consolidates all this stuff in a quick blast and explains what the game is online, what you're supposed to be doing. It won't go back into the rehashing this about why using AI incorrectly is such a thing, but I'm doing that here, so hopefully that's enough for you. But it will let you understand all the different things that you're doing online and how they're supposed to come together, and understand, oh, that's how you do it. And if you can do that, if you understand that, that's more than half the battle. That's actually 3/4 of the battle. Maybe even 5/6, I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating. In any event, c2local.io/free thing. Go check it out. It's good stuff. And again, you don't got to sign up for nothing. It's a free thing. Oh my goodness, so professional. So professional. All right, that's it for now. I'll holler at you next week or whenever I hop back on this thing. But yeah, go check that out. And if you're going to use that thing, be smart about it because it's so dumb. Just dumb. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.